Today's lesson is at a drugstore. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
And I'm Mike.
And today and tomorrow, we've got a couple of conversations that all have to do with going to a drugstore. If you go overseas to the US or Canada or Europe or whatever, at some point, you're going to have to go to a drugstore or a pharmacy or the chemists, as they call it in the UK, and you need to go there to get some medicine because you're not feeling well, you've got a cold, a headache, or whatever. And today we've got Finn talking to a clerk, and he's asking for cold medicine, and then Lydia is looking for the right kind of shampoo.
There you go. A lot of people love visiting drugstores when they're overseas. You can find things that are not generally on sale in your country or things that are much cheaper. I know a lot of people in Taiwan love buying vitamins at drugstores in North America and other places because they're cheaper. The good thing is that in most countries outside of Taiwan, as far as I know, the drugstore and the pharmacy, the place you go to get your shampoo and your makeup and all that kind of stuff, is also the same place you could go and get a prescription filled. So when you see a doctor and they say, take this medicine, you can go and get that prescription filled, things that you can't normally buy over the counter. But you can also find many of the things that you typically would use in your bathroom, just for your personal grooming. You can find all that and so much more at a drugstore. These days, many drugstores in North America also look like supermarkets. I used to work at a drugstore and we had to fill the milk fridge and change the magazine racks and do all this other stuff that had nothing to do with health or cleanliness or whatever. So drugstores are wonderful places to go, and I know my wife could happily spend 45 minutes or to an hour in a Canadian drugstore when we go home. And there are many things that have special names and things like that. So we're going to be talking about some of the useful language that you can use when you find yourself overseas in an English-speaking country and you need something from the drugstore. So let's hit the drugstore. In the first dialogue, we have a clerk helping out a customer named Finn. Let's check it out. At a drugstore. 1. Asking for cold medicine. Finn walks up to the counter at a drugstore and asks for assistance.
Hi, how can I help you today?
I've got a sore throat, a ruddy nose, and a bit of a headache. I was hoping you could recommend a good over-the-counter medicine for me.
Sure. Do you have any allergies to medications?
No, not that I know of.
Great. In that case, I'd suggest a combination cold medicine called Cold X. It can help with all those symptoms. You'll find it in aisle 2. Also, if you want something for quick throat relief, there are throat lozenges in aisle 3.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Feel better soon.
大家好，第一部分介绍名词 medication， 它的意思是药物或是药。例如 Are you currently taking any medication that I should know about? 你目前有正在服用任何我应该知道的药物吗？或者 Alan recently started taking medication for his high blood pressure. Alan 最近开始服用治疗高血压的药物。再来看到名词 symptom， 表示疾病的症状。例如Fever and muscle aches are common symptoms of the flu. 发烧和肌肉疼痛是流感常见的症状。或是 Maxine went to the doctor because she had symptoms of a cold. Maxine 因为有感冒症状而去看医生。继续看到名词 aisle， 它的意思是走道或是通道。例如 As she entered the drugstore, Beatrice tried to remember which aisle the cold medicine was on. Beatrice 走进药局时，她试着回想感冒药在哪条走道。也可以说 Rice is located in the dry goods aisle. 米放在干货那个走道。后面介绍名词 lozenge， 表示润喉糖或是喉片。可以说 I always take some lozenges when my throat is scratchy. 当我的喉咙发痒时，我总是吃一些润喉糖。又或者说 The singer's doctor recommended a throat lozenge before he performed on stage tonight. 那位歌手的医生建议他在今晚上台演出前吃一颗润喉糖。
Okay, so conversation number 1, we're asking for cold medicine. This is not medicine that's in the freezer or the refrigerator, hence cold temperature. No, this is a kind of medicine for the common cold, okay? You've got various symptoms, a runny nose, you're coughing maybe. So here, Finn walks up to the counter at a drugstore and asks for assistance. So again, he's at a drugstore and he wants some help. The clerk says, "Hi. How can I help you today?" Or what can I do for you today? There are different ways to greet a customer. And Finn, the customer, says, "I've got a sore throat, a runny nose, and a bit of a headache." So these are some symptoms of the common cold. And he says, "I was hoping you could recommend a good over-the-counter medicine for me." Okay, so sometimes if you got a cold, you know that there really isn't much a doctor can do for you. You've just got to stay home and rest and drink plenty of liquid and stuff like that. But you could also get some over-the-counter medicine, so you don't need to go see the doctor. You can just go to the drugstore and get some cold capsules, for example. Sometimes you can get that kind of medicine. And yes, indeed, yeah, I've got these symptoms. I've got a sore throat, a runny nose, and a little headache. And yeah, could you recommend some medicine for me? To recommend just means to give me some information because you know about this and I don't, so maybe you can tell me what to do.
There you go. So recommend something for me. A lot of people here might make the mistake of saying, "Can you recommend me something like that?" So you're asking to recommend a medicine for me. A good over-the-counter, sometimes that's shortened down to OTC. You might see that on a sign in a drugstore. That's where you find the things that you don't need a doctor's note, don't need a prescription to buy. Things like cold medicines. They won't get rid of the cold. You'll still be sick. You'll just feel better. You'll sleep better. Maybe if you can't breathe through your nose, it'll help you to breathe and things like that. But yes, as Roger said, you really just have to let a cold run its course. You'll feel kind of nasty for 4 or 5 days, maybe a week, but eventually you'll get better. And some of these medicines can just make you a bit more comfortable. So the clerk says, "Sure. Do you have any allergies to medication?" So that's a great question to ask. Many of the clerks at these stores, they do know a fair amount about the medicines they sell. I mean, they're not pharmacists. They're not experts in it. They don't have the knowledge, but they do know a lot about the products. And so some common allergies. An allergy is something that your body won't accept. A lot of people's bodies are a little bit different. And so some people have maybe stomach problems, or there's certain types of medicines that they should avoid. So they're asking about that. Most over-the-counter medicines should be good for everyone to take. They're designed in that way. But it is a good question to ask and to know about yourself if you do have a few unusual things that you can't accept or can't take, a few allergies. And medications, that's just another way of saying medicine. So when we take medicine, when we take a medication or medications, plural, we're taking some kind of chemical formula that we will hopefully swallow or whatever in our body, and it will start to make us feel better. So Finn says, "No, not that I know of," right? So there's nothing that stands out from my medical past. I don't remember taking something and having a bad reaction to it, or a doctor ever telling me, you should really avoid this because you're allergic to it. So he doesn't quite know, but "not that I know of" means to the best of my knowledge or in all my life, this has never been a problem, so I can probably take anything.
Yep, I may have allergies to something that I don't know about, but right now I don't know if I have any other allergies other than none. So yeah, there are no allergies that I know of. And the clerk says, "Great. In that case, I'd suggest a combination cold medicine called Cold X. It can help with all those symptoms." So this is a medicine or a medication called Cold X, and the clerk describing it as being a combination cold medicine. So this particular medicine deals with different symptoms, not just coughing or not just a sore throat, but it can deal with all these symptoms. And I did mention the word symptom before, but that is just a sign of a particular disease. There are various symptoms, various diseases, like if you find yourself urinating a lot, that could be a symptom of diabetes, so you might want to have that checked out. And of course, various diseases and conditions have various symptoms that the doctor is going to ask you about, so the doctor can determine what's wrong with you.
And of course, Finn's symptoms were the ones he described earlier: the sore throat, the runny nose, the headache. Yeah, this isn't usually a sign of something like a heart attack. It's usually a sign or a symptom of a cold. So that should help with all those symptoms: your sore throat, your runny nose, ear headache, all of those should be gone or at least reduced if you take this medicine. You'll find it in aisle 2. So you'll find it in row or aisle 2 of the store. Many stores, as you know, supermarkets and such, are arranged with shelves that kind of run up and down the length of the store, and they're numbered often from left to right as we would read, number 1 all the way over to aisle 8. So it just allows you to find the thing that you're looking for. Maybe you're like me, you kind of don't mind wandering around a little bit. Often the aisles will have signs at the top, at the bottom, in the middle. It'll kind of give you a basic description of what's sold here, but this will help Finn to find the medicine, this cold X medicine, a little bit faster, a little bit more efficiently. So aisle 2 is the second aisle or the second row. Go down there. Could be on the left, could be on the right. They might say aisle 2 on the left or something like that, but it'll be in that section, so you won't have to go up and down all the way through the store. Also, the clerk says if you want something for quick throat relief, so that would be for the sore throat, and it would act quickly, like put this in your mouth and in a few seconds you might feel better. Obviously, other medicines might take a bit longer, but for quick or instant throat relief, there are throat lozenges in aisle 3, and these are those sort of candies that you can suck in your mouth, and as they dissolve, your throat kind of gets coated with sort of the sugary coating, this kind of medicine that takes away the soreness, that takes away the itchiness, that kind of uncomfortable, sore, itchy feeling you often have when you have a sore throat. So that can be helpful. Those are also something people might take if they're singers, if they speak a lot, if they use their voice a lot, just for a sore throat or for discomfort in the throat. They have those lozenges. And a lozenge is kind of a medicine, not the type of medicine that you will swallow, the type of medicine you will suck like a candy in your mouth until it dissolves. So that's the difference between a pill or a tablet or something like that. That type of medicine is designed to be swallowed into your stomach where it will start acting, whereas a lozenge is the type of thing you hold in your mouth and let dissolve slowly.
We also have something called cough drops. It's similar to a throat lozenge. You suck on it and it helps you with your coughing so you won't cough so much. So you might find those in a certain aisle in a pharmacy or in a drugstore. So again, the clerk tells him where to find those throat lozenges. And Finn says, perfect. That's wonderful. Thanks for the information. Thanks a lot. And the clerk says, you're welcome. Feel better soon. So we certainly hope that Finn feels better soon by buying those over-the-counter medications in his local drugstore. Okay, we're at the end of conversation number 1. Let's go now to conversation number 2, choosing the right shampoo to wash your hair.
2. Choosing the right shampoo. Lydia is browsing the shampoo section when a clerk notices her. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually. I'm looking for a shampoo that can help with dandruff.
We have a great anti-dandruff shampoo over here. It's known for its deep cleansing effect and works really well to clear up dandruff.
My scalp is pretty sensitive, so I'm worried it might be too harsh.
I see. This one might work better for you then. It's an herbal shampoo with a milder formula that's specifically made for sensitive skin.
That sounds perfect. Thanks so much for the recommendation.
You're very welcome. Please let me know if you need anything else.
第二部分看到动词 browse， 意思是随意看或是浏览。造个例句 Selena spent hours browsing online stores to find a gift for her friend's birthday. Selena 花了好几个小时浏览网络商店，为朋友寻找生日礼物。另一句 Toby spent the afternoon browsing in the bookstore without buying anything. Toby 下午都在书店里随意浏览，没有买任何东西。接下来看到名词 scalp， 它的意思是头皮。例如 Ellen gently massaged her scalp to relieve tension after a long, stressful day. Ellen 轻柔地按摩头皮，以疏解一整天压力后的紧绷感。再看一个例子 A healthy scalp often leads to stronger, shinier hair growth in many people. 很多人头皮健康时，头发常会长得更强韧亮丽。往后介绍形容词 herbal， 指的是草本的或是与草药有关的。举例来说 Some types of herbal cure are better than regular medicine. 某些种类的草药疗法比一般药物有效。或是I recommend you drink some herbal tea to help you with your cold. 我建议你喝一些药草茶来治疗感冒。最后看到名词 formula 表示配方。 例如 Our unique formula will leave your hair softer and shinier after just one use. 我们独特的配方将让你的头发只用过一次就更柔软且更有光泽。也可以说 The formula of Coca-Cola is a carefully guarded secret. 可口可乐的配方是被小心保护的机密。
All right, here we are with conversation 2. Choosing the right shampoo. So shampoo, of course, is that liquid soap that you use on your hair to wash your hair. We don't call it hair soap. We call it shampoo, which is just an interesting word. But anyway, so that's what we're looking for, the bottle of shampoo that you can wash your hair with. You also might use conditioner, which is that other type of thing you use after you use the shampoo. And here we have our customer, Lydia. And Lydia is browsing the shampoo section when a clerk notices her. Browsing is a great word for looking at things in a store, but not really knowing exactly what you're looking for, just seeing what the store has available. If you're in a store and someone says something like the clerk, "Can I help you find something?" and you don't actually need help, you're different from Lydia, you don't need help, you're just looking, this is a great word to use. No thanks, I'm just browsing, is what you can say. Please leave me alone, I'm just trying to see what you have. I don't have any special requests or specific thing I'm trying to find. I'm just checking stuff out, I'm just browsing. But Lydia doesn't say that. She needs something and she knows what she wants. She says, yes, actually, you can help me find something. I'm looking for a shampoo that can help with dandruff. Okay, so not just any shampoo, a special shampoo with probably a certain type of medication or medicine or special chemicals in it, not just to clean your hair, but to stop you from getting dandruff. And dandruff is when the skin of your head, your scalp, that's what we call the skin under your hair or where your hair grows, you know, sort of on the top, back, and sides of your head. That's your scalp. Some people get a very dry scalp and little bits of the skin will sort of flake and break off. And, you know, it can be socially embarrassing if you're wearing a dark shirt. You have these little white dots all over your shirt and, you know, it's not going to kill you. It might be a little itchy and uncomfortable, but it's more of a socially embarrassing thing like bad breath or something like that. So she's looking for a shampoo that can help her with her dry scalp and the problem caused by the dry scalp, which we call dandruff.
That's right, and the clerk says, well, we have a great anti-dandruff shampoo over here. Okay, so sometimes, of course, people use anti-dandruff shampoo or shampoo for dandruff during the winter because it's drier during the winter. I remember using, say, Head & Shoulders or Nizoral. Those are a couple of brands of anti-dandruff shampoo that you can buy, I think, in different countries. But, yeah, lots of people use them in the winter because it's drier. But he says, hey, there are some kinds of great anti-dandruff shampoo, or at least one kind that's great. It's over here. It's known for its deep cleansing effect and works really well to clear up dandruff. Okay, so it has this deep cleansing effect. To cleanse means to wash all the things away, the water, the shampoo, the dandruff. So it can all be washed away by using this. It goes deep into your hair all the way to your scalp. And yes, indeed, it can clear up dandruff in a jiffy. Don't worry about those little flakes on your shoulders in social settings. You'll look perfectly fine by using this particular shampoo.
All right, but Lydia, she's a little concerned about this one, maybe the deep cleansing effect. It's very powerful. So she says, as she thinks about it, thinking about this description she just heard from the clerk, then she says, my scalp is pretty sensitive, so I'm worried it might be too harsh. Okay, well, that is definitely an issue for Lydia, maybe not for other customers, but her scalp, the skin on her head is quite sensitive, right? Sensitive skin might not react well to strong chemicals. So if you're putting on a cream or if you have pimples or something and you use some kind of pimple destroying cream or whatever, it might actually make it worse because not only will you still have a pimple, but the skin around it will be red, it will be sensitive, it will be painful, it might be itchy or something like that. So certain people, their skin just is a little more delicate or sensitive, so strong chemicals can have a bad reaction to them, making their problem even worse, because now I have dandruff and my head is really, really itchy or sore or red or something like that. So she's worried. She says, I'm worried it might be too harsh. Something that is harsh is kind of strong in a negative kind of way, strong and damaging, okay? So not something that you want to have. Many types of cleaners that we use maybe to clean your bathroom floor or your kitchen sink, that's great. It kills kills bacteria, but you don't want to wash your hands with that same soap because your skin is much more sensitive than metal or tile or something like that. It would be too harsh for your skin.
And the clerk says, I see, I understand your concern. This one might work better for you then. So he's going to recommend a different kind of anti-dandruff shampoo. The clerk says it's an herbal shampoo with a milder formula that's specifically made for sensitive skin. So we've got the word herbal here. Some people say herbal. I think in the UK they say herbal, and in the US we tend to say herbal, although sometimes this switches around. Some Americans say herbal as well, but it means it has herbs in it. It has special kinds of plants or leaves from plants or whatever, spices or whatever in the shampoo that have some kind of effect. And yes, indeed, it has a milder formula. It's not so strong, it's not so harsh, so it will remove your dandruff, but it won't harm your scalp so much. Yes, indeed, it's specifically made for sensitive skin. This is the kind of shampoo I recommend for you.
And then Lydia says, that sounds perfect. That sounds great. The herbal cleaning will be probably less harsh, less powerful, and also not sort of painful to her sensitive scalp. That will be better for her, so it sounds perfect. Thanks so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the information and for listening to my issues and recommending or finding something that will be very good for me. So the clerk says, you're very welcome. Please let me know if you need anything else. So a great little interaction there between the two, and hopefully Lydia will be back home cleaning her hair with this new anti-dandruff shampoo in no time.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Here comes Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第一部分的对话里， Finn 他喉咙痛、流鼻水还有一点头痛，想要请药妆店的店员推荐适合的成药。店员在确认完他对药物不会过敏后，就说 In that case, I'd suggest a combination cold medicine called Cold X. 这样的话，我会建议一种叫做 Cold X 的综合感冒药。那这边要介绍 In that case， 它是表达在那种情况下，既然如此，假如是那样的话，它通常会摆在句首，意思跟 If that's the case 或者是 That being the case 差不多。好，假设现在咖啡没了，只剩下茶可以喝，这时候可以说 In that case, I'll have tea then. 既然如此，那我就喝茶吧。顺便补充两个跟 case 有关的用法。第一个 In any case 字面意思是在任何情况下，那它是指无论如何不管怎样，表示无论前面所叙述的情况为何，都不影响到后面的结论。举例来说 I'm not sure how long the meeting will take. In any case, I'll call you once it's over. 我不确定会议会开多久，那不管怎么样，会议结束我就会打给你的。好，那么第二个介绍的是 in somebody's case 或者是 in something's case， 也可以用 in the case of 加上名词去表达以什么什么的例子或情况来说。Case 在这边它有情况案例的意思，像是 Berries are good for your health.In the case of blueberries, they can help lower blood pressure. 莓果对健康有益，以蓝莓为例，它可以帮助降低血压。好，那么在课文第二部分的对话里 Lydia 想要找去头皮屑的洗发精产品，文中用到 anti-dandruff 是形容去屑的、抗头皮屑的。我们顺便介绍一下 anti 或是念作 anti 这个字首，那它具有反抗或是反对的意思，常常会接在形容词或名词的前面。我们来看几个例子。第一个是 antibacterial， 它的字首 anti 表示反抗反对， bacterial 是形容词，表示细菌的或是细菌引起的。那么合在一起 antibacterial 这个形容词就表示抗菌的。第二个介绍的是 antibody， 那么 body 是身体， antibody 就是抗体的意思。第三个 antivirus，Virus 是病毒，那么 antivirus 就是防毒或是防电脑病毒的意思。第四个介绍 antibiotic，anti 是对抗，那么字根 bio 它有生命的意思， tic 可以是形容词字尾或是名词字尾，合在一起 antibiotic 当名词是指抗生素，当形容词就是表达抗生的抗菌作用的。那么第五个介绍 antioxidant，anti 表示对抗 那么字根 oxide 这表示氧化物，后面加上名词字尾 ant 表示促进什么什么作用者，合在一起antioxidant 就可以表达抗氧化物、抗氧化剂。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天单字吧。
Recommend. I would recommend buying tickets online to avoid waiting in line. Medication. The nurse told me to take this medication twice a day. Symptom. Lucy visited the clinic because she had symptoms like a fever and a headache. Aisle. Please move your bag so other people can walk through the aisle. Browse. Clara is browsing through the clothing racks to find something she likes. Formula. This soda is made with a secret formula that's more than 80 years old.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Mike.
See you next time.